Welcome back to the Dark Truth Diaries. The place where silence breaks, secrets bleed through the cracks, and every story reminds us that danger can come from the people we trust most. Tonight's story is about survival, deception, and a woman who refused to die quietly. This is not the tale of a victim. It's the tale of someone who turned fear into power and became the hunter. This is the story of Maya Rivers, a woman who learned the hard way that sometimes the most dangerous monsters don't hide in the dark. Sometimes, they live right next to you. Pause. Let's begin. My name is Maya Rivers, and for most of my life, I thought I understood people. I believed danger came with warnings, raised voices, suspicious behavior, the kind of things you see in movies or hear in other people's stories. But the day I realized I was the main character in a true crime nightmare was the day I learned the truth. Evil doesn't always look evil. Sometimes it looks like a friendly smile, a neighbor waving at you, a person who calls you by name. That person, for me, was Ethan Hale. It was supposed to be my fresh beginning. After divorcing my husband of 7 years, an affair, of course, I wanted somewhere quiet, somewhere peaceful. I found a small house at the end of Willow Creek Lane. Calm street. Good neighborhood. Safe. At least that's what the real estate agent promised. But on my first morning there, I stepped outside and found a man already standing at the edge of my driveway. Tall. Dark hair. Understated smile. "Morning," he said. "You must be the new neighbor. I'm Ethan." Friendly. Polite. Harmless. Or so I thought. He helped me carry in boxes, recommended a locksmith, told me which restaurants delivered the fastest. I remember thinking, maybe I got lucky. Maybe starting over won't be so bad. But by the third day, Ethan knew too much. What time I woke up. When I walked my dog, Luna. When I grocery shopped. When I worked. When I showered. He knew things I never told him. At first, I brushed it off. Small town vibes. Curious neighbor. Nothing more. I was wrong. The first strange incident happened at night. I was upstairs, brushing my teeth, when Luna suddenly growled and stood facing the front door. Her fur rose, teeth bared. She never growls. Then I heard it. A slow, intentional tapping on the window. Tap. 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 Not the wind. Not an animal. Someone was there. My heart pounded so hard I could barely breathe. I turned off every light and stared through the blinds. No one. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I told Ethan what happened, just casual conversation, seeking reassurance from the only person I knew. But his reaction was off. He didn't seem surprised or concerned. He simply said, "Lots of weirdos in the area. You should be careful. Keep your curtains shut. People see more than you think." Then he smiled. But the smile didn't reach his eyes. That was the moment I felt the first crack of fear. Over the next few weeks, things escalated. My porch light unscrewed itself 3 times. Footsteps on my gravel path at midnight. My trash cans moved. My back gate left open. Little things, just enough to unsettle me, never enough for the police to act. When I mentioned it to Ethan, he had a new suggestion every time. Install cameras. Get stronger locks. You should really stop walking your dog so late. It was like he was guiding my routine, controlling my environment, shaping my fear. And a sickening thought began to grow. What if the person I was confiding in was the one making me afraid? But I had no proof. No evidence. Nothing. Until the night everything changed. It was 2:14 a.m. I remember the exact time because the sound jolted me awake, my downstairs window breaking. Luna barked violently. I grabbed my phone and hid behind my bedroom door as footsteps creaked across my living room floor. Someone was in my house. A shadow climbed the stairs. Slowly. Methodically. They stopped right outside my door. I held my breath. Then, click. They tried the door handle. Another click. Another. My door shook lightly as they tested its strength. Then I heard a whisper. A man's whisper. "Maya." I froze. No one should have known I lived alone. No one should have known where my bedroom was. Except one person. But just as suddenly as it began, the sound stopped. Footsteps walked back down slowly. The front door closed. And silence returned. The police arrived 20 minutes later. No fingerprints. No signs of forced entry beyond the window. Nothing taken. Probably a random break-in, they said. But I knew better. This wasn't random. This was personal. And suddenly, everything Ethan ever said echoed in my mind. You should really keep your curtains shut. People see more than you think. You should change your locks. Lots of weirdos around here. He didn't sound like a concerned neighbor. He sounded like a man laying the groundwork for a crime. I wasn't safe. Not anymore. Something inside me snapped that night. I refused to be prey. I refused to live in fear. So I stopped reacting. And I started watching. I installed hidden cameras where he wouldn't expect them. I changed the locks, but pretended I didn't. I adjusted my schedule, but made it look predictable. I walked Luna at the same time every night, but doubled back silently through the alley behind my house. I became the shadow. And on the fourth night of watching, I caught him. Ethan. Walking around my property at 1:47 a.m. Gloves on. Flashlight off. Standing under my bedroom window. He wasn't confused. He wasn't passing by. He was watching. And then came the final proof. As he leaned closer to my window, he whispered, "Maya, open up." The same whisper from the night of the break-in. That was it. He meant for me to be the victim. But now I was something else. I called the police with footage that left no doubt. Ethan Hale was arrested that same night. But the deeper investigation uncovered everything. He had been inside my home multiple times. He had taken clothing. He had a copy of my house key. He had recordings. Pictures. A detailed plan. He had a fantasy. A timeline. A day marked with an X. The day he intended to attack me. 3 days from the night he was arrested. 3 days. I had been living next to a man preparing to kill me. People asked me how I stayed calm. How I didn't panic. How I turned the tables. The truth. I did panic. I was terrified. But fear has two outcomes. It turns you into a victim. Or it awakens the part of you that refuses to die. I chose the second one. Ethan is serving 20 years in prison for attempted burglary, stalking, unlawful surveillance, and attempted assault. But even with him behind bars, I still keep my curtains shut. I still look over my shoulder. Not because I'm afraid he'll come back, but because I learned something important. Danger doesn't always come roaring. Sometimes it knocks politely and offers to help you carry boxes. I survived because I stopped ignoring the signs. And because I refused to remain the victim. In the end, I became the hunter. Thank you for listening to today's story on the Dark Truth Diaries. A chilling reminder that sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones who act closest and quietest. If you want more true crime stories about betrayal, survival, and justice served cold, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what comes next. Stay safe. Stay aware. And remember, truth always comes out in the dark.